What's a subtle sign that someone is good in bed? I've noticed that empathic people are generally better in bed. That's because we understand where you're coming from. The way they kiss. In my experience, the man who puts his whole tongue down your throat is also the one to jam his cock into you without any kind of foreplay and jackhammer away. 2 things I noticed. 1. People who are good listeners and generous are usually great in bed. If it's not the first time, it will get better. 2. Women that have been in long relationships are usually a lot better in bed than those who've had more short-term relationships. They can finish a snack pack pudding without a spoon. He just sits there. If they are not willing to sleep with me, I take it as a sign they must be good. Man, I just misread the shit out of that title. I read what's a subtle sign that someone is going to bed? Full stop. Read so many comments before I realized my mistake. I think just being unselfish is a great sign. Those black chokers that girls wear are actually black belts for sucking dick. They don't talk about it. They don't raise their voice or seem pressed. Quiet. Modest dudes are always packing and will ruin your life. That's me 110%. I'm so f***ing modest. You wouldn't believe. Did you hear Emmy? When they drop monster condoms for their magnum dong on the floor at the pharmacy. I find that a good indicator is how willing they are to take the lead. To me it shows that they're confident. If somebody initiates sex or any sort of action, then I find that they tend to be a better sexual partner. Edit. Just to clarify. Consent is very important. Obviously if somebody isn't reciprocating your advances, you've gotta respect that. I meant that it's always good when your partner doesn't wait for you to do everything yourself. It's a give and take situation. I second this. If the girl immediately starfishes, you are probably better off jerking off. When she's batshit crazy with daddy issues. It's probably been said a bunch before. But a man who's good at petting cats is probably an attentive lover. Some people just like to maul their fluff. If the cat is purring and clearly loves it, it shows that the guy is good at paying attention to what another creature likes, and will probably do the same in bed. If you're good with PSSY. Makes love like an eagle falling out of the sky. Killed his sensei in a duel and he never said why. If he can discern where your erogenous zones are in the neck and facial areas after a few moments of kissing. Some guys have the inherent perception of interpreting the way a woman's body talks in her demeanor and responses. He's attentive to the point of being fastidious. If he nips behind her ear but she's silent, he still processes the way her hips flex as if of their own volition or how her thighs press together tighter. It's these imperceptible actions and his use of them that separate those of talent. It's particularly useful as a lot of women have receptive sex drives. If you can divine her interest from something so subtle, she'll respond with fervor quicker. A man who can guide you to pleasure is a highly desirable partner. In my single days there were 3 things that were signs a woman was probably the sort of one night stand. Yeah. I'll try where that type of girl I was looking for. 1. Cracked screen on phone. 2. Tattoo. Especially lower back tattoo. 3. Big laugh. Not saying that if a woman has all these things they're up for anything. But all the women who were up for anything in my experience had all these things. Women that want to have sex are better in bed than women that give you sex. Who have sex with each other or it's masturbation. It's not wrong for a woman to want it too. It's the way it should be. Girls which know how to arch their lower back. A P-run stash is a dead giveaway. That they constantly talk about how good in bed they are. She has a tattoo on her forehead that says, "I know about angel grapefruit technique." If they warn you that they are about to fart. Seriously now. I can't think of subtle signs. But I've noticed that most girls that are amazing in bed are aware of the fact of the intimacy involved in a good time in bed. I'm not saying that you cannot have a good one night stand. But I feel that if the both of you are aware of how close you are to each other, physically and sentimentally, the chances are you are going to have a great time. It's all about feeling comfortable and noticing the other one's desires. After all, isn't it? Edit. They don't constantly talk about how good they are in bed. Being considerate. I've always heard that fellas that are good dancers are good at f-kin. Jesus, Terry Crews must be a god in the sack. If she gave birth to the OP, that's usually a good sign. A man who is genuinely attentive to carrying a conversation. And also attentive as to whether I'm enjoying myself at whatever activity we're out at. Basically, a man who cares about a woman's happiness. As a straight man with a lot of lesbian friends, I've had sex with a handful of lesbians, under many different circumstances. But for the most part it was just curiosity on their part. And they are all at the very top of my list for best lays. There's actually science behind why this is true. Women are harder to please sexually than men the vast majority of the time due to the fact that for women, sex is a full body experience, while men really only need focus on the dick. So lesbians are women who typically put in a lot of effort and nuance to how they perform every little action, as they're used to performing them on women. This makes them typically better in bed, at least given my preferences. This thread needs a serious tag like kitties need pets. I'd say a man who plays a stringed instrument or brass instrument is usually good. My fiance is a former trombone player and I can definitely vouch for him. I'm a guy playing guitar and I own a cat that I love to pet. Come with me. I'm gonna play a song to your vagina. If a man can't tie a knot in a cherry stem with his tongue, he'll lick the FCK out of your sloppy CNT hole. They are a drummer. The rhythm. Can confirm. They're always smiling. Dancing. Dancing requires good hip action rhythm. The way a girl walks. Like if it's towards your bedroom. Flexibility. Girls who do yoga. Dance. If they tuck you after they FCK you. Thanks, dad. When you've got class at 8 AM and the person is well rested and happy. Only people that are good in bed manage to be so well rested so early in the morning. Usually if the girl is crazy she is good in bed. Slurred speech. Center of gravity being off. I've always had decent luck with girls that have these and similar qualities. I too have a kink for stroke victims. Bruh. Red pajamas. That duet means they're fast in bed. Someone athletic will have much more stamina and far better control over their body. If he's not afraid to reach out and touch rub you at random times of the day. Like you're sitting on the couch and all of a sudden he reaches over and starts massaging your neck without even saying anything. It indicates sexual confidence and assertiveness.